thanks. So for those of you just watching this video on YouTube, we're just doing our tier lists for all the sets. So you should see the rest of all the different sets. So we just gone through and gone through all the characters, how we see them possibly with their potentials in the new meta with set 5. So we should have all 5 of those videos up. So just a quick understanding of like our grading. So again, so S is like, you expect to see them possibly win or topping events. A's are you expect them to see them in those mixed those top tiers, those topping for those the URLs and so forth. B's are the also rounds they could get the top cuts, and you wouldn't be surprised if they did, but you also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. C, you don't expect them to be in those top cuts. Find locals decks are fun, and then D's are these characters are bad. You probably should never play them kind of thing, unless you just want to have some fun and don't care about going over through.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, a lot of this is based on potential. So some of these are going to be just our guessing how they're going to sit in these new metas, and some of it's then based on what results have already had.
Based on what cards are coming as of the 30th and how we think they'll impact the decks. Let's move straight in with the starter characters. Let's go with Endeavor 2.
So he's, to me, straight into A.
Had solid results, solid abilities, defensive and defensively.
Yeah, and has had the success, right? He put copies of on all 3 of his symbols in top of the previous UKRLE, right?
Yeah.
So like that's almost like an S, but I don't think it's quite. I think he's just top of A for me.
He definitely gets there. 31 health for 600 is really good. Yeah. You're burning for your life, but on the symbols you can gain a lot of that life back. And you've got a lot of defensive capability. As when we were looking at set 5, I was saying taking an attack to gain 2 feels really bad because you kind of offsetting. But losing 2 health to -4 speed something, or losing 2 health to essentially make an attack 0 feels really good. Losing 2 to stop an attack feels better than taking an attack to gain a little bit.
And yeah, obviously he gains all the evil stuff, right? All the new evil stuff and the new set.
I think Eraserhead 2 goes into B. Yes, it got to the finals of an RLE, but it's the only time it's done that.
Yes.
And it has a lot more potential, and I'd be more than happy to move it to A with more results.
Yeah, again, A's. I think obviously Void gets all the new punches and all the new Deku 4 stuff.
The main thing there is Deku 4.
His commit ability is very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, he's top of B. Like, again, has that potential.
The committability is very strong, and it's all down to as and when you use it. Yeah. But it can also, it's a lot like a lot of abilities. It will win or lose you the game as to what you get rid of with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Coda goes to D.
Kota, no, I think he's a C deck, right? He's a definition of a really cool locals deck, but doesn't really do anything competitively. He's not bad, but to me, like, Kota is a definition of a cool locals deck. Like,
it's just everything that you're looking at. I can run summon Dark Shadow to get like Dark Shadow rune off, and I can get rid of the progressive to draw more cards. But it's because Tokiyami just does that better. I think the progressive cheating is cool. I think his symbol selection was very interesting because of how allies were put through the sets before that. But I would say C, but I'd be happy to see it in D as well. I don't think he's going to be hitting the top of any events anytime soon.
No, there are a few new ally cards in the new set, right? I'm sure there's a few. Like Hand of Confession, Ryukyu Training, Eri, Heroic Assistance. Like, there's a few new ally cards.
It's only ally action and attack, so Eri wouldn't work.
Okay. But so there's new ally cards. Again, I just think it's a cool locals deck. It's not something that I think goes any further than C.
If we're putting Coda in C, then I think Ojiro 2 at least makes C. He still puts stat on face. Yes, he now has to commit to pick up as well, but it's still a decent locals deck.
yeah, I think obviously the nerf, no one wants to play him anymore, which is what happens. But I don't think he's bad. And yeah, he probably goes above Kota. Like Ojiro 2 is still very playable. He's just like, why would you?
Yeah, but then look at Kai, who got to the top 16 of the EU RLE with
Yeah,
Kirishima 2 after the Ojiro nerf. There are decent ways to go.
uh,
Shoji, Mezzo Shoji 2. Now, Apple's probably going to shout at us for whatever we put this, but I think it's a D tier just because it stipulates duplicate arm counters. If it was just counters, there's a lot more synergy that you can do with a lot more of newer cards. But I think being gatekept by its own duplicate arm ability sucks.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Like effectively, he gets to give 2 attacks -2 speed turn. Like, sure,
Even the -4 ability requires you to still pass the
but it just
block.
gets that 1 a turn, and like, so you're sort of forced to just play all of his cards as counters, which aren't very good. Yeah, he's just a D. Like,
Yeah, if you didn't have to remove counters, so you could stockpile them. I think that'd be cool. I think he's a bit too I think he's been balanced a bit too much.
yeah, he's just not very good. He's in D.
Ricardo Sato 2, 29,500 form. First form, draw 2 cards at the end of your turn. Draw 2 cards. Your attack gets +2 damage. Only playable if you've drawn 2 cards this turn.
I mean, you could just play Nomu and put 1 million damage and everything anyway. Yeah, he's not very good. Again, I think he just goes in the D.
There are ways to offset that draw ability, but as
Yeah.
is, just draw 2, discard 2 for the cycle. Normally does it better. Stain
Yeah.
2.
I think Sato goes in D.
Oh, so yeah, I meant to put D. Stain 2 form. Your next weapon attack gets +3 speed after it resolves. Remove it from the after it resolves, remove it from the game and draw 1 card. Response once per turn after your weapon attack deals damage. Commit and freeze 1 rival foundation.
So I think we got a bunch of new weapons, right?
We did. We got. I know Levi has been. I know Levi took down a couple of provisionals for Stain 2. It's very powerful because it's kind of like the Bakugo 1 train. You are always getting rid of the next one, so you're kind of just playing with 1 progressive from the first attack you played. No, so it's form once per turn. But yeah, so you essentially get to make your next attack very powerful, skip progressive, and draw a card. It seems pretty decent.
Again, he's just a 7-hander, right? I think he's a C. He's not bad, but I think he's a C for me.
I think if I'm putting him in C, I'm still putting him above Ojiro though.
Yeah, probably.
13. I like speed hate on bar on face. But it's non-character ability and
13's like a sideboard character, right? For a thing that needs for that to happen. Like, against those combo decks, right? You could conceivably have 13.
It feels like a card that wants to kill you quickly by slowing you down, which is why the character ability lets you reduce speed and you can stop your rival playing foundations that could be issues. But there's no real stats on face to deal with it. I think it's a cyborg character. It
goes in the D, I think. 13's done.
I've never seen 13 do anything. When I've seen people play 13, they've not been having much fun.
Yeah.
Tomo Shigaraki 2, commit 1 foundation after your non-throw attack deals damage. Add top card your deck's momentum. Discard momentum. Remove 1 card from your card pool. I'd happily play it at locals. I know someone played it at the work study of the week on last Tuesday. I don't think it's completely unplayable because having access to momentum.
Shiggy 2 is probably a C tier, right? I think he's a good local deck, but that's about it.
Toro Hakagori 2, I think, goes into A tier.
Yeah, like she won an RLE, right? You can't
She didn't just
really
win
knock
an
it.
orally; she went completely undefeated.
Yeah. Again, it might have been one of those perfect storms where the meta worked for it, but
But it was also you saw his cyborg tech at the UK hourly and at other hourlies for fourth kind for
also
Jiro.
if you think about it, if a lot of the new if people are playing these metas where it's like I'm going to play this thing from not to my hand and get all the bonuses, G says, okay, that one that you played from not your hand, I'm just going to bounce it. You
Yeah,
don't get to trigger all these foundations that
and
you've
then
got to play this thing.
I get to look at the top of your deck and
Yeah,
see. And
so yeah, she just goes at A, and I think she probably goes above Endeavour. Again,
I
she's got the
think Bubble Girl might also be a slight nerf with a slight buff to her. If there's a lot of stuff for changing
yeah.
block modifiers because she was the first one to do it. Backdraft is a
Backdraft.
solid locals character.
No, Backdraft is a D. He's a D. He's not good. You have to play fire. Like he, again, it's the meme. He gets to sort of put fires out.
He does, but I mean, yeah. For one foundation, it's basically having a rescue completed on face. Rescue completed is a very good card itself, and with how much card pool clog there is, getting 3 cards in your rival's pool for 5/5 is really easy.
Nah, he's a D. Death Arms.
Death Arms goes to B just because of Kyle. You
I love Kyle.
got to top 8 with him.
I love Kyle. Death Arms is a C. I don't think he's very good at all. I think
He made it
he
to top
got where he
16.
did on the back of Earth Package be done good, and
No,
that's
he
it.
got to where he did off the back of Proud Scion. He's spoken to me a lot about this. He got to where he was because of the law clock strategy of committing out all your rivals' foundations in their turn, and they're not doing it. He had games where his opponents just didn't get to play the games. He was telling me the amount of times someone would go, okay, I'll go for a back alley, check to 3, only have their character went, that's my turn, because that's all they could do. He was so proud of himself for being able to lock people completely out of the game because all they had was attacks in hand, and they couldn't use any of the foundations because Death Arms and Proud Scions were just completely locking them out of the game.
Yeah.
So I think he goes to
Okay,
B just
I'll
because of that.
accept the bottom of B just because Kyle has got a result with it,
Yeah.
right? Nezu,
Nezu's a solid C.
yeah,
Smack him in the
Nezu's a
middle.
C. It can do the combo thing, right? The City Infinite, but Nezu's cool, but Nezu isn't that great. Nezu's a C.
Yeah, he's a bit of a more of a meme character. You get the look at your rival's hand, but you don't really have any utilization for it. You don't have zone changing on face. You know, it's kind of just a weird gaining information gaining ability rather than it's going to help you win the game ability.
I think gets a little bit better. I think there's some more stuff that work with her, what she's doing, right?
Mandalay, I guess. The Ready Get Set Go hit her hard. She doesn't really have. She's a foundation based deck. I don't think there's much that she can really do at this point now.
Sure, there was something I thought about with Mandalay that
She's
worked.
still just a staff strike deck.
I don't know if she is.
There's not many combo foundation or.
No.
Because, yeah, you get a -1 progressive difficulty when you play it. But so essentially you're weaving with the. It's a good way to get around breakers and things like that. Her strongest ability at the moment is probably the same as the Deku one, where you're predicting for minus damage. But
yeah, I mean, she's probably a C, isn't she?
Yeah.
Really?
I think she's above Nezu, below. I've won events with her. I took down a Tokiyami with her. I know how powerful she is, but that's off the back of Staff Strike. I think
Yeah.
the future is now. Mandalay is still just as good as the way that Jiro plays it. Yeah, you don't get the speed, but you get to go. Future is now foundation, foundation, foundation. Staff strike on a 4, which could be really cool. But it's magical Christmas land plays. It's not consistent. I'm going to see this every single game plays. Pixie Bob, I think, also just sits happily in C. Not much.
Bottom of C. I think it probably just does the Coda thing worse.
I'm going to put it above Coda because of Ultimate Combination being a thing, and Pixie Bob Ultimate Combination is fun.
Okay.
Also, because you've got the infinite combination with infinite blocking with Dreaming and Christian Truth.
Ragdoll hasn't done anything.
I think Ragdoll just sits above Coda, below Pixie Bob.
I'd probably put Ragdoll in D. Honestly, I don't think Ragdoll's done anything. You know, there's nothing. Like, she doesn't get to do the combo stuff where that tutor one card is actually
really
doing
useful.
a stupid thing.
No, I can say that's definitely fair.
Having that mid enhance is blank a lot of the time. Flipping to look at top card deck, she's just a D.
If she was a 7-hander, that second ability might be a little bit more prevalent because you see more cards, but you're having to be you have to be very close to what you're doing. Tiger, however, although not having any results on face, I do think can sneak into the B status.
Yeah, so again, Tiger's just one of those characters that I think a lot of people have looked at and thought, there's something here, right? And no one's quite cracked that puzzle.
While we're in the 5-hander meta...
It does the infinite, right?
Yeah. Does the infinite
so
better
I think Tiger goes the bottom of B just for now for the... Let's see if someone can crack that puzzle now with set 5.
Yeah. The ability to swap the stats during your rival's turn as well is just so good.
Like, Spooky's good, doing on your attacks are good, drawing a card if your attack hits is good.
I played my evil overhaul versus a Tiger, and if it wasn't for the fact that you can give +2 after the block step, was just so good, because in case I'll make your attack 0, it's like, cool. Would you still like to block it? Because it's going to hit you for 2.
Yeah. But, I think Tiger goes in B just because, again, I'm like, okay, we'll put it there, see if someone can break it again, and they won't, but sure.
Smash Might probably goes to D.
Smash Might?
Yeah.
We've got more Smashes now, right, don't we?
We have got a couple more, but does he do anything that anybody else doesn't do better?
I mean, probably not, but...
You have got the Deadlock first form, but that requires your rival to be going into Deadlock. Flip Foundation, your Fury Punch attack gets +2 speed or +2 damage. Yeah, no, Midoriya 1 does it better for... Midoriya 2 does it better for this guy.
I think he's a C, right? Again, until someone proves otherwise with Smash Might, he's a C.
Okay, I'll put him in C. And then we've got the dreaded one.
So, I think she has to go in S, right? She's format warping. She's all over the place in top cuts. There's no way
She was all over the place in 1. She wasn't anywhere in Pasadena, I believe. She wasn't in webcam because she takes too long. I don't think she was in Pasadena, was she?
Yeah, it was Sean of Rochester CCG. He played a top 4.
I didn't realise. I didn't watch it because I was a bit burnt.
Yeah.
Would you settle for top of A? I really don't want to put it in S.
She goes in S because she is currently a one of those decks that absolutely could take down an RLE. Has put multiple copies in multiple different top cuts, and is format warping. Like, you need to have a plan against Recovery Girl. That, to me, is an S tier character. Right, Jiro up until like the Sheffield RLE had never won anything, but you would have to like account for Jiro because it's always going to be there or thereabouts. And I think Recovery Girl is in that sort of space of it's a format warping thing. You need to account for Recovery Girl and how you beat that deck because if you
I
don't,
can get behind that. It's just putting a character that painfully annoying and that absolutely
I
dreadful
know.
to play against into essence.
And I think that there is a reasonable chance that come the July ban announcement that she does get something done to her simply from a coverage negative play experience thing because of the amount of time her games take um to go on. Like when it's like when a top cuts one round of top cuts is taking like 2 to 3 hours.
I mean, the judges must absolutely love her because they get paid hourly.
No, because no judge wants to just sit around and wait at top cuts time. I mean, like I think they'd rather just have their time back than get the extra pay. To be honest,
That's fair.
and other card games of banned cards are just making tournaments take too bloody long. Like
Yeah.
the obvious one being Sensei Divining Top in Magic, right? It's a card that was powerful but wasn't crazy. In the same way, I think Recovery Guy is powerful but not necessarily crazy. But because everyone's just constantly using this card all the bloody time and lots of shuffles and everything else, they just banned it because it was just making tournaments just go to time all the time. And
Yeah.
I think there is a reasonable chance they do that in July for Recovery Girl.
It'd be interesting to see, and also it depends on how set of 5 hits because set of 5 may.
Yeah, and again, there may be a case of we're not going to do it because we want to see what happens to set 5. But they also might say, but we're not banning Recovery Girl because of a power level thing. We're banning Recovery Girl because of a tournament running thing. Or, not banning, erratering or something.
Well, yeah, look at Ojo 2. Everyone was demanding Ojo 2 get dealt with immediately as season 1 started. And people were like, no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a month. We're gonna wait a month. We're gonna see how the first month's data came in, and yeah. So the first provision, the first month of the season 1 provisionals was just Ojo everywhere because everyone's like, we're gonna get him sorted, and it might just be. I don't think Recovery Girl needs the same thing. I think it's just a case of Recovery Girl is taking advantage of the fact that nobody is running throw hate.
No, again, there's decks that can beat her, right?
Yeah.
And you can beat Recovery Girl. It's not that. It's just sometimes you beat Recovery Girl after playing an hour, or sometimes it's like you play an hour and a half game against Recovery Girl. You lost in the first 15 minutes, but it took her an hour and a half to actually get to the point where she killed you. But you had already lost that game in the first 15 minutes.
Apple raises a good point.
You don't concede because you're in top cuts, right? And you are on time, so you may as well.
Apple raised a good point saying that the fact Recovery Girl is winning games is proof that the format's slowing down.
Yeah,
because
Ojo was one of those people that was putting and it was part of the reason why he got hit, right? He was doing a reasonably longish string, like Ojo was usually doing 4 or 5 attacks long, and they were tall as well, right? And this is part of the problem, is that he was tall and wide, and Recovery Girl can't cope with that and just gets melted.
No. And then Apple siding with you there, saying, "Trust me, I'd rather take the tournament ending early and lose the cash."
Yeah,
that makes sense. Right, so that's set 3 list. It took us a little bit longer than I was expecting, so we might have to call it on set 2 as well, there, because we're getting to 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we can come back maybe on Tuesday and do the other 2 sets.
Yeah, I don't mind coming back Tuesday and finish up.
Because set 1 will probably be a long one as well, right? Because that's got a lot of characters.
So, yeah, set 2 is a fair bit.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with that on set 3. Again, didn't necessarily have a huge impact.
No.
Outside of Recovery Girl.
Well, I mean, it did, but the issues that
just shifted. Yeah, I mean, actually, I suppose it had a huge impact in Ojo, and then obviously that got
set 3 had a huge impact in Ojo and One with Nature, and now Recovery Girl.
Yeah, I'm just sort of thinking from the character perspective, like, yeah, I want to move Death Arms down.
No, he's staying there just for Kyle.
Okay.
Just for Kyle, he's staying in the middle. He's staying in the middle of B. Just because Kyle worked so hard to get to top 8 with him, and it's the only top 8 Death Arms I've seen. And as as the only person to top 8 with a W1, I feel the kinship of keeping that there.
That's fair. Okay,
Right,
cool.
yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. For everyone on YouTube, remember, press the buttons, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. And yeah, we'll be
Apple
back
said.
on Tuesday probably for the set 1 and set 2, and we'll get all these tier lists finished out.
Yeah, Apple said we did Shoji wrong, but he wasn't here for that bit.
Well, you should have been here, didn't you, Apple?
Yeah, I know Nathan has done some really nice stuff for Shoji, but it's just not for us.
I don't think he's very good. I think, I think this is a game where you could legitimately take any character in the game and win a game of UKVersus on it, right? Is Shoji ever going to win or top a tournament? No.
Yeah.
Do I think he's fun or good? No. That's why he's in D.
One of the best things about this game is you can sit across from any character, and if you draw hot and they draw cold, you win. Now, the chances of Shoji getting to top cuts requires you to essentially just draw hot the entire tournament. Are you going to do that? Sometimes, yes. But is it consistent? Is he consistent enough to make sure you get to top cut when drawing cold? No, he is not.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone, and hopefully we'll catch you on Tuesday for set 2 and set 1.
Yes, hopefully we can get back on to Tuesday.